So we are live. Hi everyone, welcome to the Destro Dev Show. And today we have Amber with us. Hello, Amber.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
I think we have right now 5 people are watching, and let's see if it increases. But it's a good starting, like 5 in the beginning.
Yeah.
And basically, today's topic is really interesting and also a little bit different from the first 2 topics. This is actually our third show in this channel. And I mean, we are developers, right? And as a developer, and you are also a developer, and I think who are watching this or will watch later on YouTube, most people are developers, right? So as a developer, we actually love to code, right? So, and our topic is, and I think all can see that in the title, that our topic is being a developer isn't only about coding. So why you think this, and maybe first let's do some introduction of you and then we can go forward.
Okay. By the way, before I introduce myself, if anyone in the
Yeah,
chat wants to just chat away, ask any questions, I'll be more than happy. I'll be super happy to see anyone
yeah,
chatting there. It might make me less nervous. So
yeah.
yeah, introductions. This is always hard. Hi. Uh, I am a web developer. Oh, that says I'm a front end engineer down there. Can go into why I'm technically a front end engineer a little bit later. I'll start with my background. So I started developing about 4 years ago, and I come from a non-traditional development background. So that means that I haven't done any sort of computer science degree. I haven't done any boot camp either.
Yeah,
I know plenty of people who have done both, who have done either one of those. I mean, uh, basically, I've always had an interest in web development since I was a young kid. Always on a computer. You couldn't really get me off a computer. Whether it was coding, whether it was drawing, Photoshop, you name it, I was there and loving it. So I started with codebar. Hi. I started with codebar, which is a coding workshop 4 years ago. About is that no 5 years ago, because I got my first developer job 4 years ago. Started with codebar about 5 years ago.
yeah,
So it's a workshop that is held in lots of different countries, and the basic structure is you have coaches and you have students, and then you have organizers who bring everyone together. So the first time I went along, I was a student, and I got this great refresher on HTML. So I first used HTML when I was 10 years old, so that was a while back.
but
And,
that was so early. 10 years old you started doing HTML, but yeah.
yeah, I did a course by my school actually, and yeah, I remember it. I was still writing HTML elements in capital letters.
Yeah,
I guess not even everyone remembers that, but maybe a few of you do.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that first lesson was great. And from then on, for 9 months straight, I went pretty much every single week. So I was in Brighton at the time in the UK, where one of the chapters is, and they have weekly workshops there. So I would go every
yeah,
week. I was slowly increasing my skills, and then I 9 months later, I got my first internship in sort of a small design agency, where I was put on tasks to do with CSS, JavaScript, and HTML. I was still going to codebar. I still wanted to learn, one really, really cool thing that helped me learn is basically the community around me. So
Yeah.
in Brighton, especially, there are a lot of web developers, a lot of people sort of in the tech industry. So I'm sort of talking about UX designers, QA people, user researchers, just everyone, and backend developers, front end developers, and everything in between. So I would say like the community aspect really helped my learning a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You were saying like after 9 months you got your first job or internship, right?
Yeah, after 9 months. So I basically was going around and asking people, can I have an internship? And it turned out, like, I went to a job fair. I spoke with a company. They technically didn't have an internship available, but after I spoke to them, they decided that they would give it a shot. I'd already built a personal website of my own. I was still incredibly junior, but they're willing to give me a shot, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah.
I see there's more questions in
Yeah.
the chat at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
a single developer, and oh, how should I answer this question? Maybe you have some opinions as well.
I think we both can answer slowly. I mean, you can give your input. I can. Yeah.
Yeah. The best answer I could give to this question now is basically like, well, I've never had freelance work, so I've gone from internship to my next job was working at another design agency, and my next job was the one I have now, which is working on a product.
Yeah.
Yeah. So never been freelancing, always been with the company, always had that support. So in the general question of increasing your earnings, I think being a developer, in my opinion, it generally depends on how much experience you have, what you're able to offer, and this builds up day by day, year by year. So just got to stick with it. Just got to do things that interest you, and eventually your skills will build up. You'll know what you want to focus on, and you'll get much better at that. And then you can probably increase your earnings.
Yeah, exactly like Amber said. So I think first thing is that how much value as a person or as a developer or freelancer, how much value I can give to my client. So I also worked as a freelancer for around 1 year when I was actually in Bangladesh. So I used to work for some European or American clients, and that also depends like how much value I can provide to them. And if they understand that you are really good at coding, which actually comes based on experience, as Amber said, that when you have a lot of experience, years of experience, and your code is good or your delivery timeline is also good, like when you say that okay, I will provide this feature after 10 days or 20 days, and you keep that commitment, that also gives some positivity in the whole thing. So in this way, and of course, if you are, I don't know if you are a junior or just a fresher. So if you are already 5 to 10 years experienced, then this earning is not good. So if you say like you are a fresher, then you have to invest more time for learning, because learning is everything for the software industry or web industry in general, right? So yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that, because not coming from a traditional, like computer science path, I still find that being a developer for me is it reminds me of being back at university.
Yeah.
Because basically you just have to be kind of doing projects and reading articles and books and watching videos quite a lot. Like, I wouldn't say all the time. That's that's not like a healthy advice to give, but you have to be focused and kind of, interestingly, you have to set your own tasks and your own learning. Like in
Yeah.
school or university, this is done for you. And even then, it's still hard to get the work done. So you have to like motivate yourself. And in that way, it's like being at university or school, but it
Yeah.
pays off. And yeah, you become a better developer sort of the more you invest in your self-directed learning.
Exactly, fully agreed here actually, because as a developer, there is nothing but learning, right? If you know more, you will get more money. I think that's a simple equation, like for software developers, software engineers, or whatever we say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But like, I guess that does lead me on to, oh, there's one more question.
Okay, so I will just take one more second to say hi to everyone who wrote hi. Here, Moratorium, he is actually our next guest. So he will join on Saturday. He has been building one game, kind of a multiplayer game, and he already launched it, I think, last week or like in last 10 days or something. And he will show us in the next show that how he did it or what is the game basically, like a demo and also about some coding and everything. And then Iskandar Alam said hello to you. And then I think we tasked the next two questions already. And then Murad then asked or said anything else. Okay, Murad is also going one answer to Fahim, I think.
Yeah, true. What does it say? So talking to recruiters, finding different clients. Yeah. There's also like an aspect of talking to people.
Yeah,
Like I said, with the community that I'm a part of, it's not only for support, but it is also like connections. And also, like you say, learning is everything being a developer, but connections are really important as well.
yeah, yeah,
So through my connections, I've found every single one of my jobs so far.
yeah,
And now I have a pretty good job. So um, I suppose it would have been the same if I went the freelancing route. I mean, honestly, I didn't have the confidence to go for something like the freelancing route, like from the start. So I can admire anyone who wants to try that. Yeah.
yeah. And also Murat have been has been working as a freelancer, I think, for a long time, as far as I know. So yeah, if Murat has any other comments or anything, please write there. We'll read it out. And then Shahriar Kabir wrote, "Hello, big fan." Okay, so if you are a fan of our show, thanks for that. I don't know what you meant, but please subscribe to our channel and yeah, share with friends so that we can reach to more people. And okay, Fahim wrote, actually, I'm a fresher. I already got a job offer for 8 hours a day for 600. I rejected it because freelancing have a freedom in it. Okay, yeah. So do you want to add something here?
Me?
Yeah.
I think that is accurate. I know plenty of people who have sort of left their like companies or jobs to like their 9 to 5 to be freelancers. And I know people who've been freelancing for 10 years or more, and they're all really good developers, like really, really good. Like I look up to all of them. And I can't say much more about freelancing really because I've never done it.
Yeah, true. I mean, I can just add one thing. As you wrote like a fresher, and I'm not sure, I guess you are from Bangladesh, or if not, from South Asia, right? So if you are in South Asia or in Bangladesh or India, so getting $600 per month is kind of a like a good salary for a fresher. Yeah. So I'm talking based on that South Asian or Bangladeshi point of view as a fresher. But if you really think that you don't want to do full-time job, then please go for the freelancing, and in that way you can actually earn a lot more if you have knowledge and skills and etc. So you can definitely earn more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's go back to, maybe we'll go to the question again. Let's go back to maybe to your flow, where you were saying like, yeah, you were doing some code bursts and then got
Yeah.
internship.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I pretty much explained everything. Like,
Yeah,
I went to codebar and I've had 3 jobs, and right now, the job I'm in, kind of, it's good, it's challenging, and like over the last 4 years, I've built up opinions on sort of how to be a good developer that isn't only about code.
yeah,
And I have a few points written down that I wanted to discuss, and like hopefully it'll give people some good tips.
yeah,
Um, like, and I want to say straight off that I have total respect for the code. Like,
yeah,
learning to code and code well is incredibly important. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the sort of like the other stuff
yeah,
that is also important as well. Um, there's like there was something I was going to say about the freelancing stuff. Yeah, kind of related to it, and also related to what I want to talk about is that like if you're freelancing, like try to make sure still that you kind of build up a community around you, because the people that I learned from the most were probably the people that I've worked with. So if you're a fresher and you're starting out freelancing, then try to like talk to as many other devs as you can. Make sure you kind of read things that they write, that other developers write. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I learned a lot of best practices from other developers that I may not have picked up or not picked up as fast from just by myself. So
true, exactly.
yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah. So where do I start? Maybe you can tell me one thing that
Yeah.
you think is important
Okay.
about
Yeah.
people coding.
Yeah. What you actually mentioned, I can share like my experience when I was like in the beginning of my career as a software developer, that teamwork and team communication is very important. Uh,
Mm.
of course, as a person, as a developer, I cannot know everything. This is, I think, true for the best developer in the world also.
You have to
So
accept this fact. Yeah. You'll
yeah,
never know
so
everything.
yeah, exactly. So I always used to ask questions to the seniors and teammates. Like, if I don't understand the requirements, I will ask question, of course, like what I need to do. And then when I start coding, if I have any problem, I also used to communicate. Okay, so this is the state I am on right now, and I have to move forward. So what can I do? Can you give me some suggestions or any tips, anything? Yeah, which is really important, I think, to do the better communication. Let's say if I am working for a feature which has, every feature has a deadline in all over the world. I think there is no other company can tell you that this is the task requirements you can give me after 5 years. Yeah. So yeah, so every company has some kind of deadline, maybe very strict or not, that may vary. But so when you start coding, then of course, please clarify like the commitments and also the communication. Because if you're stuck, just don't be stuck there, because you are working on a feature and it is taking 20 days, which doesn't look good actually for to the management and everything. So please do the communication better so that you are not stuck on that, which I really used for my career to grow. I mean, I'm still growing and I'm still learning, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this is something I did.
Yeah, that's really important. But like I forgot to mention that
Yeah.
like where we met at Codebar, right?
Yeah,
In Berlin.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember. This was like when was this? This was like 2 years ago or something.
It is actually, yeah, I think 2 years
More.
or more. Yeah,
More.
should be.
Yeah,
And
this is like over half my dev career that we met ago. Like,
yeah, actually, do you know how I got into Codebar?
You wanted to improve your skills?
Actually, Christian, I was kind of like going to a meetup one day as a speaker. I think that was like 3 years ago or something in Berlin.
Yeah.
And Christian, who is also one co-organizers with you, right, in Codebar.
Yeah. So yeah, I forgot to mention I was a student at Codebar, and now I help organize and coach at the Berlin Codebar.
Yeah, exactly. So you were the organizer. I think Christian was also the co-organizer with you. Then
Yeah.
Christian told me that after I like left the stage in that meetup, then he asked me that, okay, do you have time someday to meet us in Code Bar, and we have some people we can
Yeah.
hang out and also share knowledge to one another. I said, okay, I'm new to Germany, new to Berlin. I can definitely do that sometimes. So
Yeah.
in that way, I actually went to Codebar first time. Yeah. So
Nice.
that was also fun. I went there probably total 6 7 times. I forgot, but it will be like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, sit with some people, share some small stuff, and that was fun to learn and share ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like I wasn't very experienced with React at that time. I think I'd probably only been doing React for about 6 months by then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And me and you sat down to talk about React.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember thinking, wow, he's a good teacher. And like you were going through some kind of complicated topics. Well, they were complicated for me, like React context,
Yeah.
right? I think it was React context, and I think context was quite new at the time.
Yeah, that was context was really new. I think we are talking about context and Redux. These things with React, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember thinking that you're a really good teacher, even if I didn't understand everything.
I'm probably not. I'm of course I'm not good, but I always like to discuss technology with people. So that's I always even Murat is here. Murat also knows me for last around 1.5 years. We also worked at the same company. Murat was also a freelancer at our company, so our product. So we also work in the same team. He also knows, like, not for just a product feature or requirements or that technology particularly, but I also like to discuss anything tech outside of the office work. So yeah.
Nice. It's good to have people in here that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna like ask the question actually because I'm always super interested in this, and I hope I'm not asking you too many questions, but it's also kind of on topic. Like, what do you like? Why did you want to be a coach? And because this is like something about being a developer that isn't about coding, but maybe you got some advantage from it.
Yeah, I think yes, because when you discuss, you learn, that's for sure. Either the person knows more than you or less than you,
Mm.
you will learn something from there.
Mm.
So maybe someone just asked me a question which probably I used to know, let's say 5 years ago, and then I forgot, right? So
Mhm.
when they ask me that question, I will probably search it and I will revise my memory.
Yeah.
So that is really one good way to learn.
Yeah.
I think that helped me also. That code by helped me to be more friendly, I would say, because I'm probably not that what should be the better way. I'm not probably that good person to talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine if I'm like as a speaker. I'm at a meetup. I just do some slides and go back. But when you sit with 3 people, 2 people, you have to talk one to one, right? So
Mhm.
I'm not probably that good, but I think that code bar helped me a little bit to improve on that.
Nice. And like you were contributing to the community, and like
Yeah.
I remember that session, and it was really good. And like I remembered, like it kind of introduced me to React context and all of these React like features that I hadn't even heard of before. So yeah, thanks.
No, I mean, thanks to you, actually, you and Christian both. I mean, from that code
Yeah.
bar, I also learned and also met a lot of people, right? So
Yeah.
you are also here based on that codebar thing, or yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
now I'm trying to teach people things that I know.
Yeah, which you see like the very good thing, right? Because you every one of us started at some point, and after maybe few years we are trying to write blogs. You also write blogs. I will share the links later in the in
Oh,
the uh, video. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, let's move forward then.
Okay. Yeah, so what should we talk about next? I could just bring up some of my points that I have written down here.
Sure, yeah.
Like something else I wanted to say as well is that like I feel that the topic that I chose for this chat is like
Yeah.
maybe controversial to some people. Like,
But I think that's fine.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I was doing a bit of research for this talk to come up with things to chat about, and like I found some like opinions, like
Hmm.
me coming from like a non-traditional background, and some people think that like I don't know, I'm not like a real developer, stuff like that. But I guess like that's probably a topic for another talk. But I just wanted to mention it because like people are getting into being a developer for lots of different reasons. Everyone has their own unique reason, right? So if someone wants to ask you, what do you love most about being a developer? Like everyone says something different, and like
Yeah.
the more different things people say, the better, because like this makes gives people different skill sets and different focus, and like it means that like the technology we make is better because everyone works on the thing they love the most, and they make it really good. So yeah. um but let's see, do we have any other questions?
Yeah, we have actually a few more things we can go through. So the next thing will be okay. So Sharia wrote like, "Hello, I'm from Bangladesh. I just finished HSC. I want to proceed in CS. Any tips to get started?" Okay, for you, Amber, HSC means like a pre-college degree, yeah, in
Mhm.
Bangladesh. So
Mhm.
so he wants to get into computer science, I think. So I will first start, then you can of course start, because you studied psychology as far as I can remember, or no, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I should have
yeah,
mentioned that. I have a psychology degree. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we will go into that. So I will just say one line here that from my learning, I also don't know the whole thing of the world. From my learning, computer science is like kind of awesome thing, yeah. So you can just do computer science degree. It is
Yeah.
my saying, because I also studied computer science, and I love software, I love programming, I love being a software engineer, right? So
Yeah.
I'm kind of a biased, but I would say just go for computer science. And if you say any tips for that, just start please, and start learning. I think there is no other tips without learning. And Amber will say something more.
Yeah, I have something to say. Like, just go for it for sure. I mean, if you think it's something you want to do, then yeah, just start. You know what? Like, I feel that back when I started my degree, like I didn't really even realize that being a
Yeah.
developer or software engineer or web developer like was actually a proper career. Can you believe that? Like I didn't
Mhm.
really consider that at all.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if I did, I may have actually done a computer science degree because like I've been using computers my whole life. So
Yeah.
like it would have been like a no-brainer.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
if I could go back in time, I might do that, you know.
Yeah.
Even though I really like the stuff that I learned in my psychology degree, like super interesting. I'm still really interested in like the psychology of people and everything. But yeah, I being like having done a computer science degree is interesting because like I've worked with people who have done those degrees, and I've worked with people who haven't, and I've worked with people from boot camps, and like every single one brings a different perspective into like their work and their job. So I worked really, really closely with someone who had done a computer science degree. She was actually just completing it, like she was nearly done with it when I started working with her, and I was working real closely with her. And I was so fascinated to see like how she approached web development and where her interests were. Because the way she approached things was often different from how I approach things. And like seeing what she was interested in and what she liked doing the most, like it kind of helped me validate the things that I like to do the most and sort of, where I want to focus. And at the same time, like I super admire everything she does, and like I learned a lot from her. And on top of that, like I'm still interested in computer science. I feel like if I had the time, I would actually do some sort of a computer science program. Like with the time I have now, I'm actually enrolled in the Computer Science 50. It's this Harvard course, like a free one, where you cover things like C and arrays and things like this. I've only just started it, but I'm hoping to finish that within the next couple of months.
Yeah, cool. I mean, that is also true. I mean, in current world, for a lot of companies, they don't require any computer science degree, like a certificate, official certificate. But if you want to study, computer science is, of course, one of the good items, I would say. So,
yeah, totally. Just do whatever you want to do. There's like you can get into being a developer from multiple paths, and like we discussed earlier, like if you're willing to learn and if you're willing to kind of put the effort in to do some projects, and you're patient as well, like if you don't expect to learn everything in like 1 week, but instead like do it over years and years, then you're gonna I like can basically guarantee that you'll get where you want to go and be successful. By the way, I have a question from a friend of mine here in the chat.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we will go there. We will go there. So let's go through the questions then where we stopped. I think the next one would be from Farhan. He wrote, which should I learn, React or Vue? Amber, do you have anything to say here?
This is a great question. I feel like I hear this one a lot. I think that first of all, you should learn what you want to learn. Most companies are looking for React developers, but more and more are looking for Vue. I also know of React developers who have never done Vue, but who started jobs where they're only using Vue. And I think being a developer, you gather like programming paradigms over time. Like, so when you get more experience, you can jump from from React to Vue much more easily.
Exactly.
Than if you're just a beginner.
Yeah.
So there's definitely not one that you should learn more than the other. Like I would recommend going through the documentation of both and seeing, trying to figure out the things that you like the most about each one. And like, I don't know, finding out the community around it and which one you get the best feeling from, and then just go for it. I mean, I do React because I have done it in my last 2 jobs. I like doing it. I keep meaning to start a Vue project. I haven't yet.
Yeah, exactly like Amber said. So if I add one more line here, that first you have to learn the concept for anything. If we talk about React, Vue, or Angular, the new Angular, not the Angular 1, so all are like component based, right? though I also didn't work as a for a production project for with Vue and Angular, but still I know from documents and everything I read always that these are all component based frameworks or libraries, as we call React is a library. But yeah, I mean, if you know the concept, like core concept, as Amber said, if you know Vue.js very well, it will probably take 1 month or let's say maximum 2 months to go to React, or vice versa. So if you know React well, we are sure that you can work on Vue within just 1 month or maybe less for smart people. So just learn the basics and the core concept, also JavaScript, because all these are like JavaScript frameworks, right? So you have to know the core JavaScript well. Yeah.
Yeah. That,
So
yeah, it's like a good like coming to the basics, like learning your basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript is
yeah.
gonna do so much good things for you, like no matter what library or framework you choose.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so which framework do you use? I use React. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just to add the same thing that I also use React. So yeah. Yeah. So the next thing will be from Farhan. Which one should I? Okay, I think we actually answered it already. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Farhan, you got our answers. And okay, Murad wrote something, but before reading this, Murad created his game with Vue.js, as far as I know. So if you want to learn Vue, please watch our next show, which is day after tomorrow, same time on the same YouTube channel, right? So please join day after tomorrow, same time, same channel. So the question is 7 years as a freelancer, and okay, it is not a question. I think wasn't easy in the beginning either. It took me 1 2 years to get the ball rolling, right? Yeah. So I think this is the answer for one person who asked about freelancing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for Ember, not coming from a CS background. Did you ever experience imposter syndrome? And if yes, how did you deal with it? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I did. uh, I did, and I still deal with it. I still deal with it. Like, okay, I think developers in general are like basically, like we've already said, having like a lifelong love of learning
Hmm.
is like important if you want to be a developer, if you want to be a good developer, I think. You know what I mean? Because being a developer is all about learning and a lot about, okay, I want to say it's a lot about, you know, learning the new things that come up, uh, like a new JavaScript standard, like ES6, or a new framework, a new library. But now that I'm saying that, I'm actually thinking that if you learn the basics and fundamentals, like your HTML and your CSS, and you're
Yeah.
playing JavaScript first, then this is going to help you feel so much less imposter syndrome. Um, yeah, like a lot of people just jump into coding without knowing the fundamentals because it's like really fast paced. You know, it's like, should I learn React? Should I learn Vue? Whereas like the question you should be asking probably is, how can I learn plain JavaScript? You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Let's see, how did I deal with imposter syndrome? Okay. Like dealing with imposter syndrome is basically something that I personally, I have to kind of actively do it every day, you know? Like I have to consciously remind myself of things like it's okay if I don't understand a topic right away. It's okay if I can't do this yet, you know, and it's okay that I didn't come from a traditional background. Um, like whatever more experienced developers tell me, whenever I kind of complain about not knowing something or feeling like a not so good developer, like the one thing they always say is that it just takes time. Like, I mean, I also comparing myself, like I compare myself to a lot of better developers than myself. You know what I mean? And like, I think that's really not a good thing to do. I think to avoid imposter syndrome, just remind yourself as often as possible that you're doing a good job. Just try and motivate yourself to keep going, keep learning, and also do not compare yourself to people who have been doing the job like twice as long as you. Because I often compare myself to developers who have been developing for like 8 or 9 or 10 years or something. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, how did they solve that problem? Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
But every single one tells me exactly the same thing. Just stick with it. You know, be disciplined with it and learn your fundamentals. Your vanilla JavaScript, your HTML, and things will come over time. And yeah, you have to have like a lot of discipline and a lot of patience. But like it really pays off because once you learn something, you feel like this big developer win. Like
Yeah.
you think to yourself, oh my God, like I know that now. And it just feels super good.
Yeah, that feeling is actually not comparable to anything, right? Like if you complete a complex problem, like you did something, and after that like time, the feeling just comes to the mind, that I think that's not comparable to anything. Even if you get like a very good amount of money, that is something else, right? So even you cannot compare with money, so that is
Yeah.
completely different feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, then I actually gave the link of Amber's blog, which is amberwilson.co.uk. Please visit her site. And then Shahriar wrote like nice blog, Amber. Okay. So he already saw that. Thanks for that. And then Shihab wrote, tell about DevOps. If we talk about DevOps, like Docker is a very common thing in the world right now. So yeah, please learn Docker at least a little bit. Not that you have to be in the DevOps team, but learning the basics and everything is always good. And I also started a Docker series in my channel where I think published 4 videos on Docker series, like part 1, 2, 3, 4. More will come, so you can also watch Docker series on my channel. And of course I will add more videos for test containers and everything. So yeah, also please read blogs. There are a lot of good blogs, of course, YouTube videos over there, so please watch those. And then Rifa said, hello, sounds really good, thanks for that.
Sorry everyone that I'm skipping questions.
No, it's fine, because we also have to manage with time.
Yeah. I don't want to stay on topic a little. So does your psychology degree come in handy at work? Do you have an example on how you applied it? Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Like I feel like there's a lot of ways I applied it. Like, let me just think. I don't have anything written down here, so let me just think just for a second. Like basically like when it comes to everything that isn't about coding, like basically what like this topic that I thought of above, like when it comes to, I don't know, like should I say like thinking about problems, also empathizing, like if like even in meetings, like some people don't like meetings. I totally get why, like but like trying to think about it and think why they're important. Like I think my like psychology degree helped with that. Also like you said earlier right at the beginning, like communicating with other people. Something that I really like to do is kind of communicate with different stakeholders on a project. So this like stakeholders could be like a content team or SEO team, the backend developers that I work with, designers. It can be so many people. Like, I like to make sure that everyone in the team is informed, like, as much as possible. And this doesn't only mean like writing like a short note to them, or like just kind of writing the minimum amount to them, or like communicating the minimum amount, but like trying to think, like put myself in their shoes. That's like basically it, you know? And like think to myself, what would be easier? Like, how could they most easily understand what I'm trying to say? So like I'll add pictures, videos, the best explanation that I can. Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect at this. I'm definitely not perfect at this. And I think there might be somebody from my work who's watching now who's probably thinking, huh, she could be better at that. But like, I try. And I think that probably comes from my psychology degree. Yeah. And there's a bunch of other stuff too. Like, also, I'll mention one more thing. Like, I feel like as a developer, like I'm saying that like everyone comes from different backgrounds, everyone has different interests, and like I've been thinking recently, like 4 years into my career, like what do I enjoy about development the most? And I'm starting to get like a more solid idea, and like I'm focused on accessibility, and I think that's because like I really like get excited about the idea of making the web accessible to everyone, you know. So that is where my focus lies, and I think that is really cool actually, because my friend that I worked with, who did her computer science degree, like she's focused on some really cool stuff, like sort of testing, also state machines, and I'm like interested in those things too, and I would definitely like get into those, but like my main focus is slightly different. So like she can bring her cool stuff to the web and I can bring mine. And if we work together, then we can build a product that is really strong.
Yeah.
So like I'm totally advocating for like developers who come from different backgrounds. Yeah.
Yeah, also a request to everyone, because I saw just a few seconds ago 19 people were actually watching. So there was like 15 to 20 people watching now and then. And please ask like related questions, like based on our topic. It would be even better for us. Yeah. And then I would go to a next thing, which is from Juan. Juan is basically the lead maintainer from Vardachio, who was also one guest in our show. And he asked, like, could you share your experience being a woman developer when most of the company's developers are male? Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. Such a cool question.
Yeah.
Oof, where do I start? I don't even know. Like, I'm like I have to say that I'm real lucky, because where I'm working now, there is a really diverse team. I think over half of the web developers are women, so that is really cool. Like in my last job, I did feel like I wish there were more women developers, and yeah, it kind of did get to me a little bit. I can't exactly remember why. I just kind of like, maybe I was like missing this like specific energy that comes with more women being there. I don't know, but I really think it just comes down to like I said just before, like having like a diverse group of people in there who have different focuses, different, is that a word? I don't know. Like they focus on different things and they care about different things. I think that's really important to me personally, because I really believe that it makes a stronger product. So I haven't had like the worst experiences as a woman developer when most of the companies are male. I think any job that I would work in, now or in the future, I would try to make sure that there was a good mix of genders on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So we actually don't have any more questions right now, but as you said, you had some points. If you want to add something, because I think within next 3 to 5 minutes we'll close it. Yeah. So
Okay.
if you want to add something,
I could. Let me see
yeah.
what I have here. So like when you asked me to be on the show, like I had to think of what I wanted to talk about. Uh, yeah. So like I came up with this topic after reading a post from a developer that I don't even know. Like I think I just found the
Mm,
post on Twitter. But the person who wrote it, I think she was a backend developer, and now she's more of a full stack developer.
mm,
And like basically she wrote basically like almost the title of like out of your show here right now, that like this really interesting thing that
yeah.
it's not all about coding, like, and something that I witness every day at my job, which is like the easy thing is coding and the hardest thing is problem solving. So like deciding what code to write and deciding
Yeah.
like what library to use, and kind of, you have to think about the whole architecture of the project. What is there
Yeah.
already? Otherwise, like if you're not good at that, or if you don't care about that, then you can get yourself into lots of technical debt. So like, I mean, by that I mean you could write something, you could write some code, and then it turns out that you hit a dead end and you can't go any further. And then you have to throw all that code away. And maybe you worked on that code for like 2 weeks. So this is technical debt. Like you write a whole thing and then you have to throw it away. It's like a total waste of time. So what she was writing, like it's only a short article, but I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. Do you want to like give like any remarks about that kind of stuff just in the last couple of minutes? Maybe
Um,
that's what you think.
Yeah, I can also add one thing here. What you said, it is exactly right. Like if I also think from my time, what I spend for my office, for my employer,
Yeah.
I probably write code probably 40% of the whole time, I think.
That's
And
a lot.
I mean, I said highest. Yeah, it can be
Yeah,
even less.
yeah,
Yeah, it depends. You know that. So also it depends also like based on or varies based on company to company. Because when you work for startup, how much code you write. When you work for bigger companies, you can write less code. I will tell the reason.
yeah,
Because based on the like distributed system and like the management of the libraries packages or internal libraries, and how to review your code, how to deploy your code, and how to test your code, and you have to write test or maybe end-to-end test or blah blah blah. And in that zone, probably you are working in one department one, and there are like 10 departments. So you have to communicate to department 3 and 7 and 9 that you are going to start or do this feature, because you are still working in the same project or same product. Yeah. So from that point of view, it actually varies. So the communication, how you think or how you distribute the system or how you reuse the system.
yeah.
So
I've been in
yeah.
like kickoff meetings that lasted like 3 or 4 days, and there was zero coding done there.
Yeah.
But like you're right, like in a startup, you tend to write more code just because
Yeah.
maybe you're less people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So
Yeah, I
this.
mean, I also work with startups and also now a bit bigger companies, so
Yeah.
I can actually compare my life from like, yeah, from that to now. I think you also have a lot of non-startup flavor. Yeah, like lot of code reviews. I would expect, of course, like,
Yeah.
as we don't have any other questions, I can see, we will sign off now. And any final words, anything you want to say?
I just want to say again that no matter where you are in your dev career, just keep going. There'll be, like, I can guarantee there'll be times where you feel imposter syndrome and you feel like that you're not having a good time, but like you can always reach out to the dev community.
Yeah.
It's so supportive. Like I wouldn't have gotten like as far as I got without them. Yeah, you are a part of that too. Like, are you coming to coach at Codebar? Yeah, so that's my biggest advice.
So everyone, let's see us again on Saturday. And for now, we are signing off. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.